Bismillah, alhamdulillah, salatu wassalam ala rasulillah wa alihi wa ashabihi wa ajma'in. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Guys, how are you guys doing today?
Alaikum
Alaikum
assalam.
assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
All right, in today's episode, we're going to be talking about doing things for strictly in sabilillah, for the sake of Allah. Everything that you do in your life, from ibadah to ibadah.
Everything could be a form of ibadah if it's for the sake of Allah. Like for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Whether it's you studying for your test, whether you do well on your test, whether you go to the gym, the meal you eat. Like every single thing that you do could be for the sake of Allah if you truly take on that lifestyle, that way of life. Like that is the way of life of a Muslim. That's how it should be.
Even sleeping.
Even sleeping.
SubhanAllah.
Dude, matter of fact, this one's for the youngsters, man. Those of you who want to get married, the things that you do with your wife, these are all acts of worship.
Yes,
What do you mean?
He's not wrong.
Yeah, for the sake of Allah,
What?
He's not wrong.
But it's but you have to think about that. If you're talking about marriage for the sake of Allah, it has to be for the sake of Allah. Like, I love my wife for the sake of Allah. I don't love her, because she's the most beautiful woman on the planet. It's more like,
She brings me closer to Allah.
yeah, that.
She's going to encourage me to do good deeds. We're going to have a good life together. We're going to raise up good kids, righteous children. They're going to pray for me when I'm dead.
Yes, see that's spot on.
You thought that was funny? You thought that was funny? You got millions of people watching you right now and you think that you're funny.
Look.
Okay, guys, we're going to cancel this guy right here.
There's also other things like going to the gym. Going to the gym and working out, becoming strong, protecting your family.
Exactly. We're not out here trying to
First sabilillah.
We're not out here trying to go to the gym, trying to be bodybuilders. We're not out here trying to be on the front of a magazine talking about look how strong I am. No,
we go to the gym, become strong. We can go to the mat. We can.
You read any story about the prophets, the seed of the prophet alayhi salatu wasalam. Did you hear that he was fat? Did you hear that he ate unhealthy?
Yeah.
This. What was sufficient for him? Dates and milk. Exactly.
1/3 of your stomach air, 1/3 of your stomach water, 1/3 of your stomach with food. Simple as that.
Simple as that.
Even look at the Sahaba who were in great shape, like Umar ibn al-Khattab, when he was the Amir, when he was the Khalifa, he didn't want to eat a lot because he saw that his men, like the people that were under him, they weren't eating good. He was like, I'm not gonna eat good. What do I look like as a leader if I'm eating good and you guys are not? He took on the fact that he did everything for the sake of Allah. Like he feared Allah as a man who was once a drunk leader of the Quraysh
who's the enemy of the Prophet.
Yeah,
you
persecuted the Prophet.
You want to see a great deal of what doing things for sabilillah can give you and how much greatness and honor you can attain from it. Look at Khalid ibn Walid. He fought his entire life after he was an enemy of the Prophet. Then he converted to Islam. He fought his entire life wanting to die as a martyr. Not a single mark on it, not a single place on his body where you couldn't see a cut from battle. Became the greatest warrior to ever walk the earth. You can argue with me. And then he still ended up not dying a martyr. Wallahi, subhanAllah.
What's his nickname though?
Saif Allah. He was the sword of Allah.
Saif Allah. Yeah. Saif Allah. Like you don't just
look at the honor that he was given.
Yeah, exactly.
He fought for sabilillah. And look at the honor that he was given.
And look here. Let me address this misconception here. Jihad is not. We're gonna address the jihad here. What does jihad mean?
Struggle.
What does jihad mean? A struggle.
Struggle.
So people have this common misconception of jihad, thinking that it's being terrorist or oppressing people. All these things are jihad. Like no, jihad can be waking up for fajr. That can be a jihad. Fighting sins that you might be struggling with. This is a form of jihad. Like it doesn't just have to be about war.
Like imagine you're trying to study and you want to scroll on TikTok, and you try to fight yourself.
And you have that self-control.
That's jihad. That's struggle.
And look,
imagine Shaytan. He's telling you to scroll. He's telling you to scroll, but you have to study. He doesn't want you to be great.
And the thing is, when we talk about doing things for the sake of Allah, right? Especially when we talk about waking up in the morning every day and what we plan to do with our day, right? You think that you wake up with your alarm clock? You really think that your alarm clock is the reason why you woke up? No, Allah is the reason why you woke up. Allah is the reason why you have life again today. Look, if you say you woke up today because of your alarm clock, go place that same alarm clock next to a dead body and watch it wake up. Is it gonna wake up? No, it's not gonna wake up. You woke up because Allah said you can wake up. So you're gonna live your day for His sake. You're gonna do as He says. What were mankind and jinn created for? To worship Allah, not to sit here and have fun and enjoy life. That's a part of it.
Yeah, we can enjoy life.
You can't be doing it for the wrong reasons.
In Surah Al-Qasas, when they were talking about Qarun, don't forget about your portion from the dunya. وَلَا تَنْسَ نَصِيبَكَ مِنَ الدُّنْيا. But
it's a blessing.
But also look who it's talking about Qarun. It's talking about, but don't go in extremes.
It says don't walk on the earth exultantly.
Yeah,
with pride. Don't walk on the earth thinking like you own the place, thinking that you did this all for yourself. Like that's what Qarun did.
Yeah, that's what Qarun
Qarun was a relative of Musa alayhi salam, and he was someone who he had a beautiful recitation in when he was reciting from the Torah. He was a good man like at first, and then Allah blessed him with a lot of wealth, a lot of like status. So then he started walking around like, look at the knowledge I have, look at the wealth I have, like look at this power that I've accumulated for myself. Like I did it myself. If Allah didn't want me to have it, I wouldn't have it. But he never thanked Allah for that. He said that he got it all himself. Like he did it. It was like it was my hard work. I did it myself. So then Allah made the earth swallow him.
He got swallowed by the earth.
And he's gonna be like that until the day of judgment, because he said he walked on this earth in like with pride. He walked prideful, thinking that he did it all himself. He didn't thank Allah for that. And Allah even said people before him had more power than him, had more wealth than him, but he didn't want to think about that. He didn't know about that because he thought he had the knowledge, but really Allah is the knowing. Allah is the wise.
Mm-hmm.
And you look at his counterpart. Look at Musa alayhi salam. Look at someone who lived his entire life through struggle, through thick and thin, and every single thing. The only commonality between all of that was that he had Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He was blessed with the status of a messenger with all that he went through. Like the same thing with all these prophets. People think like they can go through a whole bunch of stuff, and then you have to look at the stories of these prophets. These stories are sitting for you in the Quran. They're sitting right there. Like all you have to do is open your Quran and read it. The seerah of the Prophet ﷺ, it's so detailed from front to back, with all the battles that he's went through, with all the loss that he faced from the time that he was born. Like
the thing is that you were talking about with the dunya, right? You know, what does the Prophet ﷺ say? Like we're supposed to take the middle path. Like we're in between two extremes. You're not going to sit here and just, be praying all day, because, that's not the way the Prophet ﷺ preached Islam. And you're not going to sit here and not pray at all and sit here and be like, I'm enjoying life. Like, look, here's one thing, right? We talked about Iman previously, right? And I was watching a video. It was talking about how too much laughter can actually affect your Iman. It can make your Iman go down. Laughter is good, though. Laughter can be a blessing. Making other people smile and laugh, it can be forms of good deeds and worship. But when we go to an extreme of laughing all the time, when your whole life becomes a joke, you can't take anything seriously. You can't take your religion seriously. You can't take the people around you seriously. You can't take your necessary duties seriously. Then what are you going to do then?
Yeah, your whole life becomes a joke.
Exactly.
I mean, how is it like doing things for the sake of Allah for you personally?
So
for all of us.
So one thing I could say personally, right?
Well, let me do it. One thing I can say personally is like I do a lot of sports and a lot of competitions, right? And even like when I'm practicing, and like I really hate losing, so like I get upset when I lose, and I ask Allah, let me win, give me victory, like everyone else would. Like even if we were to like go and battle in a war, and I would ask Allah for victory, but like how can I expect and I always expect Allah to answer my dua, but like how can I expect Allah to give me victory when I haven't myself practiced or even indulged? Like I haven't indulged myself in. Done my part. Like asking Allah is a big portion of it, but doing it yourself, like trying to put in the work, is also a big portion of it. It's like studying for a test. Like it's just like asking Allah to get a good grade on a test, but not studying, and then you get a bad grade, and then you want to blame Allah. Like, are you stupid?
Yeah, nah, you're right. Wallahi, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
And then the other thing is, right, when we talk about doing things for the sake of Allah, right, we're not doing things for the sake of people. So no matter what a person does to you, if they hurt you, you did it for the sake of Allah. Like, let's say, for instance, I give you something, you don't thank me, and like I might get upset over that. But at the end of the day, I understand I did it for the sake of Allah, not for your sake. So I know Allah is pleased with me, and that's all that matters. So now I'm happy with myself. I'm happy from what I gave you. I don't need anything from me because I know Allah is going to bless me.
Yeah, no.
It's like a tawakkul. It's like a reliance. Some people, they say, oh, I have so much confidence in myself. Dude, my confidence goes so far. I have confidence in Allah. You like,
yeah, I've shifted my mindset from that too. Like I used to be someone who I had a lot of confidence in what I could do, that sometimes I used to forget exactly who gave it to me. Like I'm a servant of God, and I'm not a servant of the people. Like I only want to serve Allah. Even if I'm here having fun playing a sport, I'm doing it for the sake of Allah. I'm doing it, I'm getting fit, I'm having fun, like in that type of sense. But at the same time, when you remember Allah, things will go better for you. Like as someone who plays football, who played basketball, all these sports, I used to be in a state where like I trained so hard. Like I did the hard working part because I put in like the utmost of effort. But then I didn't see myself doing as much like spiritual effort. Like I wasn't seeing myself putting as much spiritual work on the football field as I was like physical work. And so I would see success here and there, but I wasn't feeling fulfilled. Like I was having fun sometimes, but then at the end of the day, it's like a depressed person. It's like, they can have fun moments, but then at the end, it's like they're just back to who they were before. Like they're not feeling fulfilled with themselves or what they're doing. So that's why like I feel like me stepping away from that and really finding like what I could do it for. That's where I have fun now doing any sport. Like, it doesn't matter if I'm trash at the sport or whatever. I have fun doing whatever it is. I don't even have to win. Like, because I know I'm winning the fact that, like, if I run down the field and I say subhanallah, I know I won because I just got 10 good deeds right there.
Yeah, bro. You know what I used to say, bro? When I used to lose, I'd be like, man, I used to be angry. I used to be like, bro, how did I lose, bro? These guys haven't even prayed Asr. I'd get so angry with myself. I'd be like, bro, like, how did I lose? I'd be like, did I really lose though? I don't measure my life by wins and losses. Because if you did that, cheaters would be winners.
Look, listen, who's gonna be the loser at the end of the day? On the day of judgment, you're the one.
Well, I
being
don't want to think
punished.
about it like
Those people are the losers.
Yeah, the ones who haven't prayed. Yeah, stuff like
So
that.
I'm saying.
But like, be grateful to Allah and the Shukur. That's what I wanted to get into.
Yeah.
It takes you a
So
long way.
when it comes to the gratefulness to Allah, Allah will only increase you. It's not like you have to
no,
say
this-
Alhamdulillah.
this is
just
true.
the feeling of you being grateful to the one who gave it to you, the one who created you. This in itself is enough. And Allah says He will only raise this person in every which way.
Like, gratefulness can only take you far. Like, but some people they're prideful. Like they're arrogant.
What
Like,
do you
they
lose
don't-
out of being grateful?
Exactly. You lose absolutely nothing out of being grateful. You only get like a good feeling from it. Like, alhamdulillah, like, I can't believe I made it this far. Or like say you make a cut. Like, even when, like, if you're just playing games with your friends, like, I made a 3-pointer, alhamdulillah. I could have missed that.
Like,
and
look,
could've been
imagine-
trash in
imagine-
front of everybody.
Here's the thing: like, you need to be grateful and you need to be humble. Like, imagine you're not humble. Like, who wants to be around somebody who's not humble? Who wants to be around somebody that's cocky all the time?
You know what I don't understand about not like people being prideful and boasting. Like, dude, in 30 years' time, none of this would even matter.
Hey, you're gonna forget about.
You're gonna
this.
forget about it.
You think you're gonna be thinking about
like,
the clothes you wore?
Time is a fire in which we all burn. like you're not gonna it's not gonna last you forever. So stay humble, enjoy it while it lasts. Don't boast about it. Don't make other people feel bad. It's really an insecurity. Because look, let me put it for you like this: when other people boast and try to make other feel bad about themselves, you're on this level. The person who tries to make people feel bad. Other people on this level, they try to talk them down to their level because they feel like they're down here. You understand what I'm trying to say?
Yo.
Now imagine someone who's humble. They're on this level and they try to bring people up so they can be on the same level because they feel bad for them. Let's subhanAllah.
What do you lose out of making everyone win? Like, people really have a problem with ego and jealousy or enviness, right? They want people to have. They don't want people to have what they have, but at the same time, they want it for themselves.
That's attributes of the Shaytan. Like, people, they don't see sometimes how the way they act. They may act out of like good intentions, but you might do stuff the wrong way. And I get that for myself. Like, I've been told for that for myself. Like, oh, I may have had good intentions, but I may have executed it like not the best way. And I'll admit that for myself. Like, okay, that was a weakness I had. That was a weak moment I had. You know, and I'll turn to Allah for that. And I'm not gonna turn to somebody else. Like, nobody can help me in that event because, like, I can't see Shaytan. I can only seek refuge in Allah from Shaytan. I can't seek refuge from Shaytan like with you or with him or with anybody else.
Yeah, what am I going to
Only
do to
with
help
Allah.
you? Yeah.
Right?
Like,
you understand, right? Doing things for the sake of Allah is gonna keep you humble, right? Like, you understand, like, you being a servant of Allah, you are not better than the next person, right? Because this is you're going against Allah, what Allah says. How did Shaitan get in the place that he's in today?
Yeah, well,
Out of enviness. He sat there, he was jealous, he was prideful.
like, wallahi, look at the story of Shaitan, bro. He saw Adam alayhi salam, he was commanded to prostrate to him alongside the malaika.
yeah.
And then he's like, bro, imagine in front of Allah, imagine how prideful in front of Allah, he defiantly disobeyed him.
He said, no, I'm better than him.
He said, no, I'm better than him. And then when he was cast out, and then Adam alayhi salam, he was put into the Jannah, he got even more angry. Why? Because Adam alayhi salam was in a higher level than him. And what he do out of his insecurity, his enviness, his
Brought him
arrogance.
down.
He tried to bring him down with him.
And that's the same Iblis, the same Shaitan. Is
That's
still to this day, he's after you. He's just trying to influence you right now.
Yeah, he had so much beef with Adam alayhi salam that he's trying to take his children down with him too.
Exactly. And that's the thing. He's not going to stop until you're dead. Like, all the way until your deathbed. Like, he's going to sit there and he's going to try. He's going to make sure that your whole life of worship was meaningless because he wants you to be burning in the hellfire with him. Like, look, this is exactly what jealousy, this is exactly what enviness, this is exactly what pridefulness gets you. You could be here, but then you will end up here. Like, and it happens all so fast too. Like, it doesn't take a long time. Like, you are here for a short
bad
period of
decision.
time.
Yeah,
Look at the story of Barsisa. Like, who doesn't know? If you're a Muslim and you don't know the story of Barsisa, you have to go look it up because the story of Barsisa, he's a believer who was very pious among like the people that he lived with. He was very pious, and he ended up dying on kufr. He died on disbelief.
Yeah,
like that just shows you how easy it is to try to like live this fairy tale life, but then so easily you die the way you live.
Yeah,
like you could convince yourself so often that like what's in your heart is good, But then if you die on something as bad as disbelief, if you die on kufr, like that just tells you exactly who you were.
You should be fearful of these things. You should
Yeah.
always ask Allah. May Allah always
true
grant
Mus-
us.
the- yeah, the
may
true
Allah grant
Muslim-
us a good ending.
The true Muslim is like always asking for Allah for a good ending. Like I'm not trying to say like don't leave behind, don't just exile this dunya and like forget about it completely. Like you're supposed to take your portion from this dunya. Like you're supposed to leave a legacy, but like leave one in which there is good light and like it will improve people. Like imagine the sheikhs from the haram in Mecca. Imagine like anytime you see them on social media or anything, every time you see them, they're reciting Quran. How much of an honor and a blessing is that?
And then
Yeah.
on top of that, you have people playing that everywhere, playing in their cars,
Yeah.
playing in their
Then
houses.
that's
Like I
It's
haven't
easy
like a
for them.
Yasser like I haven't seen Yasser al-Dosri except that he was reciting Quran. Allah has made it so that every time I see him, he's reciting his word. Like
And
like imagine his
that's
status.
good deeds every single time. Like you play that. Like,
And
for them,
And then
that's
now
good deeds.
imagine the people every time you see them on social media on anything, they're doing haram.
Exactly. And people take that as a blessing. People think, oh yeah, just because they got a lot of money, that this is a blessing. No, this might be a great punishment. Like, look, imagine these people are indulging people to commit all sorts of sins, whether it be kufr, shirk, or just indulging in sins in general. You know, things like flashing out your body and stuff like that. You know, I'm not going to get in detail right now, but you know, things like this that people that you encourage, you realize you're going to share in that sin too, right? Because you're the one who encouraged it. You're the one who put yourself out there to do that, and people are looking up to you as if that thing's a blessing of what you're doing. But you know, what kind of blessing is that though? Like just imagine every time you see a shaykh just reciting Quran, that's the only thing that you see him doing.
Or every
you don't
time you
see
see
him,
yeah.
you don't see his personal life or anything like that. Just
No, but
reciting
like-
the Quran.
Look, what Usman's saying is right though. You like leave a legacy behind. You know what I'm saying? But not a legacy like like LeBron James legacy. No, leave a legacy of like. You know, anytime someone thinks about you, they can only think good thoughts about
they can
you.
remember Allah. They think good thoughts like that. You make people when you enter
Yeah.
the room, you make people happy.
encourage
This
people
is
to
the
do good
status of a
deeds.
Muslim.
Yeah, it's like oh, if I ever think about like someone I may have known and they pass away, and I'm like, oh yeah, that person, he was such a righteous Muslim, he was such a pious Muslim, he was granted a good ending, like that type of stuff. Or
Like imagine there are people like when you think about them, all you can think about is the disgusting things they say about whether it be about women or whether it be about your own brothers. All they do is make fun of your appearance or stuff like that. Like imagine there are people like this. All you could think about is that. But then there are also people like the status of a Muslim. When they walk in the room, everyone's smiling. No, there's no bad feelings. There's no animosity between anyone. Why? Because all he does what he's supposed to do for the sake of Allah. He loves each and every one. Like you guys love each other for the sake of Allah. And what better is a bond than the two people who love each other for the sake of Allah?
even like the sense of forgiveness, like what does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tell you about? Like he loves those who forgive. Like he loves those. Like if you don't like someone, shoot, don't
Look,
leave your
"Man la
like.
yarhamu nas, yarhamullah." This is a hadith. Whoever has mercy on the people, Allah will have mercy on him. So like say you like for example, if you did something wrong to me and I forgave you instantly, I have mercy. Allah will forgive me as well.
And I think people like underplay exactly how many good deeds you probably got from that. Like how much how like Allah will see you now. because-
Interactions between like even me just giving you a cup of water to drink if you were thirsty, helping you out like that raises you. Like, bro, you don't understand how much good you just done.
I mean, like look at the
Like,
hadith
subhanAllah.
about the prostitute and the dog. Like
Yeah.
she was forgiven because she helped a
dog.
dog dying of thirst. And you saw like even put aside the profession that she was in, like whatever she was doing, look at what she did out of the kindness of her heart, and she was forgiven for that. Like who are we to say anything about what anyone else does?
Mhm.
You don't know what's in their heart. You don't know, like someone could be doing everything in their life and they could be doing it for the sake of Allah, yet you still think they're a bad person. But what you think doesn't matter. People seem to forget what you think does not matter. Every single thought you have about a single person has zero meaning. It has zero meaning. Allah's not going to ask you on the day of judgment, what do you think of this person? Because Allah says in the Quran, Allah is sufficient as a witness. He is sufficient as an accountant. He uses these types of words to tell you, like, everything you're doing is recorded. Everything you do, he sees it. Everything you do, he hears it. Everything, like,
Yeah. And all your guess what? All your hard work, any work that you've done in this dunya, you will be repaid for, whether it be in this dunya or in the next dunya. So my message from that is work hard. Why? Because Allah is the best of judges. You will be repaid for what you do. So have confidence in what you're doing.
Here's
in the work
a very common thing. People are always like, why are like the good people, like they're always like fast to go, or good people ask like righteous Muslims will ask like, why my life is so hard? Like, look, just imagine, right? Imagine you were rewarded for all your good deeds here in this dunya. What would you have in the akhirah? Like, imagine you wake up on the day of judgment, you have all these good deeds, and you're just confused on where they came from. But Allah has saved them for you on this day when you need Him the most.
yeah, you think about that. It's like, I think, because you'll appreciate the reward of paradise a lot more knowing what you had to go through in this dunya. You understand? Like, if you got everything you ever wanted in this dunya as a Muslim, then how much would you truly appreciate paradise? Like, if everything came easy to you, then you wouldn't appreciate like the akhirah as much. But if you're someone who has to go through stuff, you're like, okay, this is Allah testing me. I'm gonna go through this test for the sake of Allah, and I'm only gonna look to Allah to help me get through this trial. Then Allah will reward you. Like, He'll bring you ease after that. فَإِنَّ مَعَ الْعُسْرِ يُسْرًا إِنَّ مَعَ الْعُسْرِ يُسْرًا. Like, indeed, with hardship comes ease.
He said that twice, repeated it. So there's
Twice, yeah.
emphasis on it.
And
He said, for indeed, and then he said, indeed again. Like, he's declaring to you, like, with hardship will come ease. It'll come. It doesn't have to be like instantly.
And
don't get through right away.
another point. Allah loves those who have sabr. Be patient. Patience. That's what sabr means.
and a point on that, you know, with hardship comes ease, and the complete opposite too is true. With ease comes hardship. Imagine your life was easy all the time. Your life is gonna get hard sometime, and it's gonna be 10 times harder then because you don't know how to go through anything. You don't know how to deal with a situation.
Mm-hmm.
Or imagine your life was such dunya here, and you get your whole akhirah taken away from you, and now you're burning in the hellfire. You're getting your face burnt in the hellfire.
A lot of people think like wealthy people
Sometimes you
are
need
the
it.
best, right?
Sometimes you need like a hard moment in your life to really reflect.
Because how can you learn?
Yeah, how are you gonna learn?
How are you gonna get better?
Yeah, if you never had a
How
hard
can you have any
moment in your life.
self-reflection?
Well, see, this is why people like this is. I was gonna bring up this point. Like, a lot of people like to compare themselves to other people,
And it's because we're in the age of social
like,
media.
when people look at someone who has wealth and they don't have wealth, they'll be like, "Oh, look at them! I'd never be upset if I was them." But then you look at wealthy people. Yeah, they may have money, they may have all these materialistic.
You know
things,
why
but
people
that's
say
not
that?
fulfilling.
You know why people say that? It's because we live in the age of social media. Think about it. We only see the best versions of the best times of people's lives, and that's all we see.
The grass is greener on social media.
Yeah, the grass is the grass is just green on social media.
Social media is just one big filter. It's just
one-
one,
yeah, it's
one
the-
like it's just,
filtering the best moment of everyone's
Yeah.
lives, and it causes you to be ungrateful for your situation.
because you look
and
at them,
it's
you look at them with jealousy and
yeah,
envy, and you're
it's a
like,
big
"Oh,
fitna.
I wish I could live that life, or if only I could be like them. If
Wallahi,
only I could have
and
the
you,
money they
and you
have, or
don't
whatever."
know. Wallahi, you don't know.
You know,
like
what brings good contentment is just being balanced all around, spiritually, mentally, and physically. Like, if you're good spiritually, you're gonna be good mentally, and if you're good mentally, you're gonna be good physically. Like, it's just the way things work.
And I'm not saying social media is bad by saying that. I'm saying, like, if you're gonna see someone who has success, just look at them and be like, "Yeah, I'm happy that they're winning. Like, you know, they're winning. I want them to win. Like, that's it. Like, my version of winning is the life I'm living right now because Allah planned this for me. Allah destined this for me.
Yes.
And indeed, Allah is sufficient for me. Allah is the best of planners. That's why you have to look at it like that. That's living for the sake of Allah, thinking that no matter what situation you're in, you're winning because you have Allah on your side. But think about someone who's a disbeliever. They don't have Allah on their side. They don't look to Allah.
You feel bad for it.
Exactly. Like what can
May
they
Allah
do?
guide all of
Ultimately,
them.
what can they do? Because their hour has come at the time that they die. But for you, think about it. If you die upon La ilaha illallah, then shoot, like you're good. Like, you're chilling. Like, that's all you need.
Inshallah.
That's all you should want. Like,
Inshallah.
if you die an honorable death, not even just an honorable death, if you die upon being a Muslim, then you've won. That's it. That's all you need in your life. Because that means you've believed in the basics of Islam. You believed in Allah, His books, His angels, His prophets and messengers, the last day, like, and qadr, like the divine decree. You believed in Allah, you're chilling. Like what else do you need? And people seem to think that they need a house, they need a car, they need
Look, listen.
like this and that.
I'll say this again. I'm always gonna say this. Doing things for the sake of Allah, living for Allah, living your purpose is more important than the fact that you need to go and drink water today. The fact that you need to eat today. Why? Because you doing good deeds and worshiping Allah is gonna help you while you're dead. You just because you drank water and you ate food today is not gonna help you in your grave. Like, what is that gonna do for you?
I mean, even me as a college student, if I get a bad grade on my exam, I'm just be like, man, Allah said this is gonna happen. I don't even get upset.
Man,
at that
Kevin
stuff.
wrote that exam.
I don't even get upset at, like, if I get a bad grade on the test or something like that, because I'm looking at it, I'm like, I mean, I can't change it. It's not like I can go back in the past and just be like, no, if only I changed my answers or whatever. Like, no, I can't do that. So I'm just be like, it is what it is at the end of the day because Allah wrote it for me like this. Like, a bad grade on a test is not gonna affect my iman. Like, it's not gonna affect the way I live my life. Like,
It should affect your iman. It should make it better.
a grade on a test.
Yeah, you could be like, alhamdulillah, qadar Allah. You know, Allah.
You're right.
You're right.
I mean, but even look at, like, the meals that you eat. Have you guys seen the hadiths that were narrated about the Prophet ﷺ that he said the blessings there are when you eat food, especially for the sake of Allah, like the du'as you can say when you finish eating, and how many good deeds you can get from those types of du'as, or just even saying alhamdulillah after you're done eating, the amount of good deeds that you get because you're fueling your body, saying like
Dude, is it just me?
I'm doing this for the sake of Allah. What?
Or before you eat and you say Bismillah, the food just tastes better.
It feels like there's more food on the plate, dog. What do you mean?
It's just you.
Like, no, did you got like I got taught this when I was a kid. Like when they said if you don't say Bismillah, then Shaytan's eating with you.
Yeah,
So then I used to think, I was like, every single time I used to think if I didn't say Bismillah, I'd be like, why am I not like I'm not fulfilled? Like I don't think I ate enough or something like that. And then when you start saying Bismillah, you're like, huh, this is what real food should taste like. This is how it's supposed to be.
No, when I was a kid, I thought Shaytan was the reason people were fat, because I thought I was like, oh, they didn't say Bismillah before they eat, so Shaytan was eating with them, making them eat more. So I was like,
is that not?
So
Is that can that? I mean, that could, it's correlation doesn't prove
No, it's
causation,
cap,
but that
it's
could.
cap.
It could
I
correlate.
I was
You
just
tripping,
joking, I was just joking.
It's correlation though. It could be correlated. Like, what do you mean?
I was a kid.
I mean, if you were to look, I mean, you'd have to go do some research about that. You have to be like, what are the obesity rates between non-believers and believers? But I mean,
I'm trying to get scientific on me. Can't do that.
I mean, you're not smart. Allah didn't give you knowledge.
Not right now.
Maybe not right now.
What?
In the future.
What?
What?
Aren't you in like psychology?
No.
Oh, so you're not very smart then. Okay. Well, I mean,
Not very
I
smart.
said not right now, in the future. Let me get there.
May Allah increase. What do you mean? How do you know you're gonna get there?
Allahu A'lam.
Yeah, exactly. He talking about let me get there. How do you know?
Inshallah.
Your knowledge doesn't matter in the grave. It
Inshallah.
doesn't matter on
Yes,
the
it
day of
does.
judgment. How is it gonna matter?
Dude, how am I
What
going to
is
answer
Islamic
who was my
knowledge?
prophet in the grave?
That's not with knowledge. That's with your heart. That's not knowledge.
The knowledge goes to my heart. Sir, are those who do know, like those who do not know?
Yeah,
Oh,
but
snap. He hit you with the Quran verse.
Yeah.
yeah, but I'm okay. No, you understand what I mean, because you're speaking straight from the heart.
Truly, I don't.
So your brain's not gonna work for you.
My knowledge goes to my heart.
Your wealth, your knowledge won't avail you on the day of judgment.
Knowledge. You threw that in there. That's not.
No, but will it?
That's
if I
not-
was the smartest man on the planet, will that avail me on the day of judgment?
What is smart? What is being the smartest man on the planet if you're not a Muslim mean to you?
Exactly.
There is no smartest man on the planet if they're not a Muslim.
Like, yeah, were you really smart to deny God?
Yeah,
That was
are
the
you truly?
stupidest thing. That was the stupidest thing that you could have ever done.
Yeah, well, like, are you? Can I truly consider you the smartest man on the planet? Not in my standard.
That's actually
Even
true,
if my
though.
standard doesn't matter, it doesn't matter.
I mean, you look at like the amount of hadith from the Prophet ﷺ about like the scientific and intelligent things that he like said that weren't discovered at that time.
Yeah, if you truly had some intellect, you would know.
Like you would look at
You would look at the Quran
yeah.
and be like, yeah, this is definitely from God. This
And
couldn't
then
have
you
been
look at
from
the
a man.
hadith that were narrated, you'd be like, okay, hold on, let me put these two together and be like, okay, there's no way a Bedouin in the middle of Arabia who was poor and claimed to be a humble servant could be anything other than a prophet.
No,
and a
it's
messenger.
not even, bro. You have a Bedouin he was illiterate and he came with a book. Like,
Exactly.
The best book too.
yeah, the best book.
He came
In all aspects, linguistically, spiritually, looks
Stories.
good. Looks good. Best stories.
Looks good. Sounds what?
Sounds
no, like
good.
if you guys saw how much
most
like,
consistent.
how much Arabic has to be translated into English for you to actually understand the Quran in English, the Quran would be like a million pages.
Even
Like-
some Arabs don't even understand the Quranic Arabic.
like
You have to learn it.
You have to learn it.
I've seen only like probably a full couple lines of like the actual linguistic meaning of some of these like ayat in English, and it was like 15 pages. And it was like a total of like 10 words. And I was like, there's no way like this, because like okay, I'll give you an example. Like Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Mhm.
It's not that many words, but that literally means like may Allah put like the peace. It obviously may Allah put peace, blessings upon you, like that type of stuff. But it means like maybe you get like everything you ever
I
wanted,
know.
good. This all like it's way more things than just what it actually says. Like there's so many hidden meanings behind it, which is why the Quran is in Arabic. It's only like what 600 something pages.
600 pages.
Yeah, exactly. Like
It's 600
that's a little bit compared to what it would be if it was in a different language, because nothing is linguistic and as eloquent as the Arabic of the Quran. Like the Arabic of today is still not even that close to that. The Arabic back then is still not close to that. Even the Arabs back then, in the time of the Prophet, they spoke in like poetry. Like that's the way they spoke. They like that was their speech. That's the type of Arabic they were speaking in. And we're not even anywhere close to that. We're slang now. Like we're hood now. Like that's our Arabic now. And it's not even close. But does anybody got anything else to say, man?
No, that'll be it.
All right. Well,
for this episode.
Well, I mean, what do you like?
Fi sabilillah.
Fi sabilillah.
You heard that?
But yeah, with that being said, that's going to close out this episode speaking about fi sabilillah, for the cause of Allah, doing things for the sake of Allah, living for the sake of Allah. And with that being said, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
All right, guys, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, share this with your friends and family. You don't know whose life you can impact or change with this episode, or just us in general. And yeah, we're students of knowledge. We're not scholars, so we're open for correction. But with that being said, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
All right, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.